All right, I am back. Apparently, for some reason, it was claiming that my stream didn't start in for like another 5 hours. Very odd. Very, very odd. So, for anyone who picks up this stream here, I have been using modelers of binary epoxy to fill in gaps on this 3D dice tower I printed. And talking a little bit about writing. Specifically, I was suggesting that folks with an interest in adult entertainment check out the Substack for the Snuggery, where we are serializing my novel, The Pool Girl. Hello, pet. To catch up those just joining us, I'm using Modeler's Epoxy to fill in gaps on this printed dice tower. And I was talking a little bit about the Snuggery and the serialization of The Pool Girl and my motivations behind writing it as trying to take what I find to be a kind of tired trope of the middle-aged bachelor and the harem of high school cheerleaders who for some reason are mysteriously attracted to this middle-aged guy for no apparent reason. And then trying to do something interesting with it, something that explored the characters between the female members, and as a consequence of this, and trying to explore something of actual interest, perhaps, with the male character and those characters and how they have to differ, what it ended up being is not actually a harem story, but about a polyamorous family. Base is slightly uneven here, but ow. I think that's okay. I'm going to fill in to make the base a little smoother too, though. This is binary modeling epoxy, so when it finally sets all the way, it stays malleable for hours as you adjust things, but when it finally sets, it becomes like stone. So people can make castings out of it. And I was sharing in the other stream, which since it said it was going live in 5 hours, I don't know if it ever will. I don't know. So that might be lost to the ether. I was saying that I've often been asked by those who read The Pool Girl how much self-insertion there is in it. And the truth is not much. I don't really sympathize with the character of Robert much. I gave him a large swimming pool. I'd love to have that. I gave him the kitchen of my dreams. And he has the time to cook everything from scratch, which I would love to have. And I love cooking. But his relationship with the girls is not self-insertion or self-fantasy at all. So if you're interested in smut with actual characters and some plot, okay, it's not Dostoevsky. You're not getting that from, teenage girls. But I think it's a sight better than a Hallmark movie. Okay, I'm not setting the bar high there, I know. Let's see if this sits flat okay. Yeah, that sits flat. Just make sure it gets nice and even there. Okay. Check out The Pool Girl for some decent character. I think the characters are interesting. And lots of good sex scenes. And we will be serializing content that has not been published before. There's actually quite a bit that I've had sitting around for a while to add on that comes after the novel and contributes towards the second novel, which I will eventually finish. Mm-hmm. There's a little hidden gap in there, but I'm not going to worry about that. This will look better when it dries, of course, and it'll get painted. And depending on what I do with it, I may add little terrain elements, like maybe some vines or bushes down here, maybe some dirt, more accurately sand. But a little unevenness looks good. I know I'm covering up some of the cobblestones, but I'd rather layer dirt on cobblestones than show gaps. Ow. I got my finger there. It is not happy. I think I might have a tiny piece of plastic in there. I will get that out with tweezers later. All right. I'm wondering if I accidentally hit the go live time thing on YouTube, and that's why it said later. Maybe I wasn't paying enough attention. Bears do better with terminal commands than GUIs. I'm also working on Rat Catchers, which is published under the pen name of Liam Armitage. I'm Leto. Liam's just a convenient pen name. And Rat Catchers is a fantasy story modeled with RPG statistics from Pathfinder 2nd edition, remastered, for those with an interest in that, but I don't think you need any knowledge of that to enjoy the series. For those interested, however, I am publishing character sheets for the characters, added content, for example, a wizarding school for Smythe that is not from the rule books, but is custom for him, a new race that I'm introducing, just because I don't feel like RPGs, especially fantasy RPGs that take some inspiration from Tolkien, have enough non-humanoid races. So the Ruparians got introduced briefly, and a recent installment where one is running a corner shop where Yoonji and Smythe buy some wine and pastries in celebration of finishing their first mission for the guild. And their second mission is coming up, which follows up on that story, and when you learn more background about Smythe. And Parchment. Parchment really grows into his own character, I feel like, in the second arc. And I'm reserving the third arc to bring some more background of Yoonji in. Okay, let's thin this out. Get this really small because it's a small crack here. Probably can't see that well on camera, but right here. I am watching chat if anybody has questions. All one of you. Oh, and I should say, if anybody watches this on YouTube later, you're welcome over on the Substack. I'll be glad to take questions, chat about stuff. For those who want more background about me, I have several degrees in various topics, heavy interest in English literature, and I'm a geek. But my interests, as is true with many people, are varied. I'm a generalist, not a specialist. So don't ask me about anything really in depth on anything. But I can talk a little bit about just about everything, I think. And I'm willing to learn what I don't know. Okay, anything's probably an exaggeration. A lot of things. Interesting topic to discuss would be the world of Rael, and the city of Almadra that Rat Catchers takes place in, which definitely takes some inspiration from contemporary fantasy tropes, you know, the D&D Tolkien inspired by way of manga and anime influences. But it's kind of a noirish city in a way, by way of Tolkien and Forgotten Realms. But it is not, and this is an important distinction, I think, it is not a everything in the kitchen sink city. That I don't care for. It is diverse and it is eclectic, but it is fundamentally a noir city. I understand that a lot of people who do gaming related stuff love the diversity of saying their setting, their location, their whatever will accommodate every person's fantasy. And that's kind of cool the first couple times you see that. But at this point, yeah, we're way past a couple times. We're way past the hundreds. And at some point, it's just creatively lazy. There's a old saying in writing that you have to be willing to kill your children. And the idea of exclusion in editing as an important part of the creative process is one I believe in. So it is not a everything in the kitchen sink setting. I think that's a lazy form of creativity. All right. So now I'm going to go back over it, take a good look, and smooth a few things out. I've got some sort of, let's see if you can see that better. I think the light's keeping it from being super visible, but I want to make this a little more irregular here, so it'll look more natural. Like the foundation settling unevenly. And for that, the finger is better than the blade. That's true in a lot of things, especially things with a safe word. Not that blades are bad all the time. I'm fine with a little knife play. Okay. Are we there? I think we're good. It's not perfect, but I can always trim a little bit more off later. And so I'm going to let this set, and next time we meet, I will have primed this, and we'll start painting. All right. Hopefully the other stream I did will be up, and you can see the first part of that process. Until then, well, until next time, toodles.